Do you not get OT money on Saturday?
Yeah, correct. After 12 o'clock, I need to get OT, but my boss only Saturday pay the basic.
How common is wage theft in Singapore?
Well, wage theft is one of the most common problems that we see at TWC2. According to our overtime surveys, 45% were not paid proper overtime pay for Saturday afternoons, and 17% of those who were paid overtime were not paid the minimum overtime rate. And according to our rest day surveys, we found that 18% were not paid the minimum rest day pay. Also, there are violations when it comes to the basic monthly salary. Many workers tell us that they are not paid on days that their company doesn't have work for them. This is against Singapore law.
But the salary claim processes depend on evidence. This is why we advise all workers to keep their payslips and time cards. But these documents are not issued all the time.
Doesn't the law require it?
Well, even though the law requires employers to provide itemized payslips to all workers, this is not always followed.
Well, according to our new payslip survey that was conducted this year, we found that 12% of the workers never get payslips.
And because of that, bank account payments become an important source of salary records. TWC2 had urged for over 10 years for worker salaries to be paid via bank account, and it was only during COVID that this rule came into effect. Unfortunately, this is still not always followed, and workers who live outside of dormitories, in company houses for example, are still allowed to be paid in cash.
Sometimes we have to tell workers that they might not be able to claim the full amount of money they deserve just because their bosses did not give them the proper payslips. This is extremely unfair, and it's quite a sad and difficult moment when we have to deliver the bad news to them.
Salary claims are scary for many workers. When they file a salary claim, they are almost always fired by their employers. These claims can take anywhere from 2 to 5 or even 6 months, and during which, workers are issued a special pass that allows them to stay in Singapore for this duration.
Are there workers who, although they are not properly paid, choose not to file a salary claim?
Well, of course. Unfortunately, there are workers who have spent huge amounts of money in terms of recruitment or agent fees to get this job in Singapore. And for these workers, they would rather be earning some form of salary or employment, even if it's not the full proper amount, than to lose their jobs and be sent back home. And then we also have workers telling us that their bosses threaten to blacklist them or send them home if they file a salary claim. We sadly hear this all the time. Workers are afraid they will get in trouble with their boss. We hope that there is no basis for such a threat, and we also hope that MOM is vigilant about such threats.
What would you like to see improve?
Well, first of all, workers can benefit if the TADM or ECT process can go faster.
Shouldn't enforcement play a role?
Of course, enforcement will lead to prevention. Rather than relying on TADM and ECT to solve problems, it is only right that employers who don't pay wages are penalized as well. The current situation does not allow workers to transfer freely. This prevents workers from speaking up. If workers can transfer freely, then they will walk out when they are not paid correctly. And that will stop the employers from committing wage theft.
Your salary claim, altogether, you claiming how much money?
My salary claim altogether $15,193 Singapore money.
Okay, and then in the end, your case finished, your boss settled for how much money?
My case settled already. I also accept. My boss also happy. Now 10,000 can settle.